Studnik Aquatics here. I'm doing water changes today. And this one here is a little tricky to do a water change on because it is so tall. It's 31 inches tall. You can't reach your arm all the way down in there, and I have long arms. So I picked up one of these, have a scrub pad shoved to the edge of it, and kind of get that algae off that glass. This is a 150 gallon tall aquarium is what it is. It's 4 foot side to side. It's 2 foot front to back and 31 inches tall. This is RODI water that's 6.8 that's been curing for quite a while. And so what I do is I siphon the water out, and I do that with this here that I made. All I do is put it in the tank, and that hose actually runs through the wall and goes into my shop on the other side. I put a little door in, and you can see that the sink is hooked up to the sink and it's siphoned. And I can do that on every aquarium in here. And all of these aquariums get tap water, so all I have to do is close the siphon thing on that end, and I can refill everything except my Biotope tank. My 29 gallon Biotope gets RODI water, and this one does because I have small discus in there. So that's what I'm doing now. I have the front cleared off, and so now I have a pump, a submersible pump on the end of this hose right here, and I drop it down in there. There's heat in there, there's discus coat in there, water conditioner, and then all I do is plug that in right here, and I'll put the hose in this tank and that tank, and I'll refill them. So that's how I do that. One thing I did buy, which was really handy, is I purchased this 3 foot tall siphon tube, and I did siphon out of the bottom of the tank to kind of clean up some of that gunk, and that works really good in this tank. The other ones, it's hard to reach. So anyway, this tank here, since this is such large fish in there, I have a gold severum and 2 red psalms and a 75. I'll take out 50% of the water. I like to do that every weekend. The others, I'll do about a 20% water change on all these other tanks. So I'm going to keep doing water changes on everything, and I might add a little more to this later as far as, you know, how this is going and what my procedure is. So anyway, this is Studnik Aquatics, and I'll add to this later. And what I'm doing now is the water is pumping back into the tank, and that's coming out of this reservoir. Where this water comes from is my RODI system in the other room, and I have to carry it in buckets. But what I would like to be able to do is put a submersible pump in my reservoir in there that comes automatically out of my RODI with enough head pressure that I can pump all the way up into and run one hose from there through the ceiling all the way down into this one here. And I would also have to have an extension cord with a big enough diameter to do the same thing, so that if I wanted to refill this reservoir, all I'd have to do is plug in that pump. I plug the cord in, the pump would kick on in that room over there, and then it would pump the water here, and then when it's full, just unplug it. That would make it so I do not have to carry buckets anymore, which would be really nice. So I am going to work on doing that, but I'll probably have to have something with a lot of head pressure on that pump, because various pumps have different head pressure. If you buy a pump that has 6 foot head pressure, that means at 6 foot or around 7 feet, it doesn't pump water anymore. So you have to make sure that it has enough head pressure to be able to pump that high and not lose all of its pressure. So, and the more head pressure you get on a pump, the higher it costs, the more expensive it is. So I'm going to keep adding to this. It's coming along pretty good. It's filling nice. I do keep the water in this reservoir at 85 degrees, and that's what this tank is. It's at 85.3. I originally had it at 82. And then I watched Corey on Aquarium Co-op, and he stated that 85 is better. And who am I to disagree with Corey? So I'm going to take his advice, and I bumped it up to 85. So I will continue filling this one, and that one there will get the same water. I am still pumping water out of that one. I like to take that down 50%. And then I'll just start working my way around here and doing my water changes. Okay, my water changes are done. Everything turned out real nice. It really cleaned this tank up. And I think I'm going to have to start getting to the point where I'm feeding these at least twice a day. From what I've read, with the water that warm, their metabolism is high. So anyway, this is my 150 gallon tall tank with basically discus, and then there's some guppies and some mollies and stuff in there. But all my water changes are done. I'll be doing an update, a fish room update one of these days, to kind of go over what I do have in this room. Everything cleaned up real nice, and this is Studnik Aquatics, and thanks for watching.